Hey, this is Buzz with episode 44 of AirWaves. In this episode, I've got a pair of portables. Portable radios, that is. I got these two radios here. We're going to do a side-by-side comparison, and that's next on AirWaves. This is Buzz, back with episode 44 of AirWaves. In this episode, we're taking a look at a pair of portable radios. And I'll let you know the reason that I have these two radios. I purchased them both recently on eBay. And the reason I bought them was because I was looking for a small portable radio that I could put in my get-home bag that I carry in my vehicle. Now, the get-home bag is just a small backpack that I keep stuff in case I were to break down somewhere where I'm not reasonably close to home. If I got a hoof it back, got a hike back home, it's got some stuff in there that I would need to get back. So it's not a big pack, kind of small. So I needed a small, preferably lightweight radio that I could put in the get home bag. And of course, if I was looking for a radio for, say, a bug out bag, that would be a completely different radio probably, although one of these radios may fit the bill for that as well. We'll see here after the review's over. But two radios that I bought are the Raddy, that's this one here, it's the RF28 it's already on, but the screen to save batteries goes blank after a while, and I've got it tuned to my FM station I have here at the house, which you can probably see on there on the dial. It's 93.9 FM. Some Steve Miller there. So this is the RF28. It's made by, or branded by at least, Raddy Oddity at RaddyOddity.com. By the way, I purchased both of these radios with my own money. It's not they were not given to me, so I'm going to just give you a straightforward opinion on both radios. But it's called the Raddy, short for Raddy Oddity. And the thing about this radio, as opposed to the other one, is it's FM only, whereas the other one, and we'll give you a closer look at this. This is, I've heard different pronunciations of this, but I heard a Chinese guy call it a Reticus, and since they're made in China, I'll go with that. If somebody viewing the video knows for sure how to pronounce the brand of this, you can let me know down in the comment section. This radio is quite a bit different. It's the Reticus V111, whereas the Raddy RF28 is FM only. This one is FM, AM, or as they say, medium wave, and shortwave, all in together. Now, both radios are very similar in size. I would say the Reticus is slightly larger. They're almost exactly the same depth. The Reticus is slightly longer, maybe a 1/4 inch. Height-wise, about the same, maybe 3/8 of an inch taller than the RF28. But they're very similar in size. Like I say, the big difference is the frequencies that they will pick up. Getting back to the RF28. Now, since this is just something to put in my get-home bag, really all I need a radio for in that situation is to be able to pick up some local stations, maybe to find out, maybe there's a gigantic traffic pileup or something. Maybe I can find out what's going on, how long we're going to be stuck in traffic. You can get the local weather forecast, news, find out what's going on. So since this is something that I'm only going to be using in that situation, FM is fine, although it would have been nicer if it had AM as well. But FM, we can get by with FM. And I'm not going to go over every feature of these radios because there are a lot, surprisingly, for such a small radio. But some of the main ones, starting here with the RF28. First of all, this radio uses a specialized battery. It's a BL5C, which is more of a cell phone type battery than you would typically see in a radio like this. So it is a specialized battery that can be a plus and a minus. The plus of it is that it is a lithium battery, and you can charge it using a USB port here on the side. So you can charge it a lot of ways. You could charge it using solar panels or a battery backup charger that you've got, or with a computer, anything that has a USB port that can feed power. Also on here, it has an LED light, and it's actually pretty bright. If you're looking into it, see there looking in the camera, it's pretty bright light. Could come in handy. Also has when I said USB port, I should have said the micro USB is the one used for charging. That's this one right here. This is the standard size, full-size USB port. What this is used for is you can put a thumb drive, flash drive, whatever you want to call it, into this port, and this radio will play MP3, and I believe it was WMV files, the Windows Media files. You can play those off your thumb drive on the radio. It also has a headphone jack, of course, and it has an auxiliary input. And what that's used for is, let's say you wanted to plug your phone audio into here, you could actually use this as a powered speaker. I believe it's only like 3 watts. Yeah, it says on the back here 3 watts. So not a lot of power, but would probably be better than the speaker on your telephone. So that's kind of a unique feature. And another thing it has here on the bottom is a micro SD card slot, which again you can put music in there on that card, and you can play it through this. Now, in reading through the directions, it does say that you can scroll through all the files on your card. You can fast forward, rewind, pause, all those things using all these buttons here on the front of the radio. So, also has an extendable antenna, and I actually went through the FM band with the radio with the antenna down, and even with the antenna down, it was picking up all the local stations with no problem. Let's just real quickly here, we'll compare. I don't know if I can get both of these all fully in the camera. The Reticus antenna is slightly longer, I'd say about 4 inches longer. Of course, since it does have shortwave, that's going to help a little bit with the shortwave. But actually, when I got this radio in the mail, the battery was not in it. As I was trying to put the battery in the slot, the battery just fell apart. So this battery I have in here is not the one that came with the radio. I bought this one and an additional one on eBay. I believe I got both of them with shipping for like $11.95, and these seem to be much better made batteries than the one that came with it. I'm currently going back and forth with the guy I bought these from on eBay, and he wanted to have a picture of the broken battery, which I sent him a couple days ago, and I haven't heard anything back yet. But I mean, at this point I already have bought other batteries, so it doesn't really matter. One other thing I do want to mention about both radios. This is the user manual or sheet that came with the RF28. It is double-sided, I read through it. It appears to cover, you know, all the things it needs to cover. This is the manual for the Reticus. It's more like a pamphlet, and while it looks like it's got a lot more information than the one sheet, it really doesn't, because it's got an English version, a French version, a German version, and Italian. So if you speak any of those languages, it can be useful to you, this radio versus the other one. One thing, this is the Reticus we're looking at here now. One thing about this radio is it's been kind of, what's the word I want to use here? It's not been consistent. For instance, I turned on FM, and you can see it started at 85 megahertz, okay, which is pretty far below the FM band in the US, and perhaps this is so they could be used internationally. I don't know what the FM bands are in other countries, so it's possible that that's the reason for that. Well, actually, see, it goes down even further than that. I'm using the manual channel selector. As a matter of fact, it seems to me at one time I saw it went all the way down to 75. Now it goes below that, 72, 71. How far down will it go? Oop. Goes up to 107, 108. Okay, it goes all the way down to 50 megahertz. So that's in the 6 meter ham band area. That's interesting. I hadn't tried to see if we can pick up any conversations with that. Another thing that's very unusual about this tuner, and I like it because you just never know what you could pick up, especially since it does go down to this far. It tunes every, you know, it doesn't skip like typical radios, but only do the odd decimal point here in the US. This does odd and even, but it also does half steps. Like right now, if you can see that, it's showing 50.95 megahertz. Okay, so that's pretty unusual. Here's AM. This is a local AM station. Let's see, volume. Oh, I've got the mute on. Excuse me.
The opening quarter, they block a punt. Isaiah Fisher-Smith blocks the punt, and Dorian Mayuzi, the linebacker,
yeah, it has
scores, and just like that, it's 7-0.
It has pretty good sound on AM, and that's because it has slots in the back of the radio that lets sound come through out there, so it gives it a somewhat fuller sound. Although, let's see if we can switch over to FM here. Well, this is the same my station, 93.9. Is that? Let me mute that, and let's go back over to the other one. The Raddy RF28 definitely has a better, fuller sound on FM than this radio, the Retekess. But you know, that's not really the purpose for the radio. Oh, also another feature that I almost forgot. This is kind of cool, especially for you people who may be in broadcasting. Like I told you, it takes the micro SD card. You can record off the radio onto the micro SD card, which is really good if you work for a commercial broadcasting station. You want to record the radio station, what we would call an air check in the business. This would be a good little radio to do that. Stick it in your pocket, carry it around with you. but again, not particularly useful for what I'm wanting it for. Another feature of the Reticus that I like is it has this little fold out here, which allows you to set it on a desktop at an angle. The RF28 does not have that. Again, now I'm not even, this does have shortwave, FM, medium wave or AM broadcast, and shortwave, because with this little antenna, I mean, let's face it, you're not going to get much of anything on shortwave. However, you can buy an aftermarket shortwave antenna that spools up. It has a little clip that will go on your extendable antenna here. Possibly with that, you know, you would be able to get some of the stronger shortwave stations. And put rechargeable batteries in here. I don't. I just have two standard. Takes two AA batteries. That's, you know, maybe an advantage over the other radio with a specialized cell phone type battery. You know, it'd be easier to replace the batteries if you need to do that. That's why I bought a second backup battery for the other radio. Headphone jack. I also neglected to point out on the Raddy RF28 that it does come with the USB charging cable. It also comes with the audio jumper cable, so you can plug your phone or any other item you want into the radio to use this as a separate speaker. And it comes with a pair of earbuds, stereo earbuds also. So all that came with the RF28. Now both of these, I also neglected to tell you the price. They were both basically the same price. I paid around $14 including shipping for each radio, and that was on eBay. So bottom line is, if you're looking for a radio that's similar in purpose to what I'm going to be using one of these for, my get home bag, either one would serve the purpose, but I'm thinking, you know, after going through all the features, that this one might be more suited for a long-term situation. If you had a bug out bag, so to speak, this radio might suit that more. And this one, the get home bag, just a short-term situation. You just need local news and weather. This one will work fine. The battery, I think, should last a long time, since it is a cell phone battery, and this has much less drain than a cell phone, and I have a backup one. But of course, if you're looking for something, you only know what your particular situation is. So if this is the type of radio you've been considering, I think either one could work out fine for you. So again, like I say, there are a lot of features. I think I've covered all the main features. The only thing with this radio is because it does have 3 bands, of course you can tune across a lot of frequencies. Matter of fact, what I'll do is I'll get the manual here and I'll let you know what the frequency ranges are. In looking through the manual here, it explains the discrepancy there on the FM bands. There are actually 3 separate FM bands. One is for the US, one is for Russia, and one is for Japan. FM1, which would be the US, is 87 to 108 megahertz. FM2, it says, is 64 to 108 megahertz, which is the Russia band. And FM3 is 76 to 90 megahertz, which is the Japan FM band. So that's very interesting. Again, this radio obviously designed more for an international market. Medium wave, it runs from 522 to 1620 kilohertz. That's in 9K steps. So that would be for European use. And then for US, it runs from 520 to 1710 kilohertz in 10K steps. Now I did see a video on YouTube where somebody actually went through that. You have to set that up as part of the setup process of the radio when you first get it, and I haven't gone through that. I just got both of these in the mail. I've just gave them a cursory going over. And long wave, it says, is looks like 153 to 279 kilohertz, and shortwave is 1.7. Excuse me, shortwave 1 is 7.32 to 21.9 megahertz. Pretty versatile radio. And again, maybe this one would be better if you're looking for something long-term situation. Of course, either one of these radios can be used around the house for just everyday use as well. So just kind of a quick going over here, cursory review of these two radios, the Raddy RF28, which is FM only, and the Retekess V111, which is a tri-band AM, FM, and shortwave portable radio. Again, this one uses the cell phone type rechargeable battery. This uses two regular AA batteries, or if you want, you could put rechargeable batteries in there. Both with the extendable antenna. This one has a slightly larger antenna. This one has the advantage of it does have the LED flashlight in it. Could come in handy. Can double as an external speaker for your cell phone or any kind of audio output device. You can plug in a USB smart thumb drive in there, play music off of it, or use the micro SD card here likewise to play music or audio off of, also to record to from the radio. So they both have their advantages, but they're both small, pretty lightweight radios and pretty versatile. So this is Buzz. This has been episode 44 of AirWaves, reviewing these two portable radios. I hope if you haven't already subscribed, you will. I noticed we were up over 300 subscribers now, so I really appreciate that. Of course, we want to keep on building the channel, and we can't do without your support, and I appreciate it. So please like the video, share it with a friend, and if you haven't, like I say, subscribe, please do so. This is Buzz. We'll see you on down the dial.